Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
So you started Stone Block 1 and then you just like Stone Block 2 came
Gave
out. Did
up
you not
on
know
it,
that
man.
was gonna happen?
No, I had no idea that it was. Stone Block 2 came out. Like, that was the thing. Is Stone Block 2 came out, and I didn't know it was coming out. Like, Stone Block 1 was only from, I think it came out in, like, September or something like that. It wasn't that long ago. And
Okay, I don't know anything about these. The reason I bring this up, I want to know more about the mod packs. People keep trying to get me to play
dude,
it.
it's fun. It's a lot of fun, man. It is. It's basically take a Feed the Beast mod pack or any modded Minecraft mod pack, and you know all the grindy shit that you have to do.
Yeah,
They put something in there to make sure that like the grindy shit is not that big of a deal. They basically try to make it so easy to just be a mod
isn't that like chickens though? Like
they got chickens
and
they got the EMC table. They make certain recipes easier, and there's a little bit of grindiness, but for the most part, it's like they give you all the resources to be able to eliminate as much of the grind as possible. So it's just like have fun and be ridiculous with this mod pack is what it is.
Okay, this sounds like the opposite of what I would enjoy. Honestly, the more grind, the better. Is normally my
see. Well,
take on
also
mod
you're
packs.
doing it from a perspective of you want to stream the stuff and have it be a
Exactly.
long,
Give me
a long fun
me all the
series.
content.
I'm not into that
Right,
as much. Did I
right,
do
right.
something wrong with this beacon here?
Have I told you about our Divine Journey series? Do you know about this?
I mean, I know that you are doing a Divine Journey series.
Do you know what we're scheduled till on YouTube?
Oh yeah, you told me there's gonna go for like until 2020 or something like that.
Yeah, and we're at the end of 2020 now.
I mean, so the fun thing is that you have that scheduled and going, and that's never going to change, which is hilarious. But I am really curious that in 2020, are people going to care about Divine Journey anymore? And that's the thing, and that's one of the reasons I switched from Stone Block 1 to Stone Block 2, is nobody's going to... Wow. Nobody's going to sit there and watch a Stone Block 1 series from somebody when Stone Block 2 just came out, and now they're interested in watching the next one.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally understand why you switched. I just thought it was funny because I saw the title of your episode. I was like, please don't be mad.
Yeah. So please don't be mad, because I switched. I just switched over to a different series. Oh, speaking of series, out of curiosity, have you gotten to watch Travelers yet?
I haven't. So I watched the Fire documentary on Netflix. That's what I've recently watched. Do you remember the Fire Festival? The Fire Festival. Do you remember that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So in 2016, you remember this like rich kid festival that got put on by Ja Rule and Billy McFarland?
It doesn't sound familiar, but sure.
So, all right. So the history of it is Billy McFarland. He's this guy that started this credit card for exclusive credit card in New York City years ago. And it was like this club where if you had the credit card, it's like a black card, and you got invited to these events.
Black?
He got invited to these events, and like there'd be celebrities and models and all this shit there. He teams up with Ja Rule, and they start this app called Fire. And the point of the Fire app was to make it easy to book celebrities of all types, be it like musicians or models or whatever. Like they're all listed here in this app, and it's like $200,000 a day or whatever, and you can just book them this way. Well, at some point, someone decided that they should have a festival. So they hire all these models. They buy an island, one of Pablo Escobar's islands, that had been seized at some point. They buy this island for $10 million. There was like $1 million down, and then like $9 million over a certain amount of time. And they bring all these models out to this island, and they announce this Fire Festival, which is supposed to be the greatest musical festival of all time. Like everyone's gonna be on Pablo Escobar's island, and there's gonna be treasure hunts, and it's for the top of the top. Like you can get.
I died.
You died. You can get like this.
I literally dug a hole down to where I was building that beacon. Build the beacon. It was 2-eyed hole, so I didn't run into lava. I one-pillared up. I had to go get some supplies. I came back. I literally flew and tried to land next to that hole so I could go down it, and I landed in the hole. It just went straight down to the bottom.
Wow.
So now I need some assistance to get there fast enough and down there before my stuff explodes.
Okay, where are we going? Tell me what to do.
I just got a pic, so I might be able to do this, but it's just out to. Do you know where the old beacon was? So there's I dug out a staircase down in the very last row of the wheat farm that currently exists. You'll see if you walk down. If you just walk at the very end, you'll see my staircase escape.
Can you come up here?
The what?
Can you come up here?
I'm coming.
The whole down.
You know what? I'm doing this the completely wrong way. I'm an idiot. I'm walking on the top because I'm used to Electra lighting down from the top, and I can't do that or I will die. There.
All right. Well, I'm going to get your stuff here.
Do you see where it's at?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure before I get there it doesn't like expire because it's going to be a long run for me to get there and like dig down.
I need to try to make sure I get your Elytra and stuff.
Yeah, that's the main thing I'm worried about is the Elytra.
So they announced this festival, and it's like, you know, for $250,000 you can get this private cabana on the beach, or for, you know, $500,000 you get this or that or whatever. It's like, you know, you need to be elite basically, and it's going to be really expensive, and this is for the top of the world basically, and you'll be all these models there and all the best bands and all this shit is going to be there. So one of the things I didn't realize before I even watched documentaries, I didn't realize that the app was even a thing. I thought that this was just a festival, because I remember when this all happened over Twitter, where this thing happened. So what ends up happening is this event happens, but all these people that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars arrive at the location, and nothing has been done. They've set up these tents from hurricane relief tents. The night before it came this big rainstorm, and like all the beds that were even there were like soaking wet. None of the private cabana stuff existed. It was just like there was no food, there was no water. It was nothing. Like everything that had been promised did not exist, basically. Yeah.
I mean, so,
and it like blew up on Twitter. It was like this huge nightmare, basically. This was back in 2016.
Okay.
That it happened.
How did I not hear about this?
I don't know how you didn't hear about it, because it was everywhere. Like, because these, like, they started, like, the first group arrives and there's no food and all this. They start like basically
before you leave, what am I doing wrong here with this beacon? Oh, it doesn't have a line of sight to the sky.
I was about to say you need a tunnel up. I can't fucking jump up here to save my life. Jump, you fool! Jump! Fuck's sakes.
When you get up top, I'm gonna have you start digging a hole like where I'm at, so I can come up and just dig straight down. I don't feel like doing the calculation.
Yeah, I'll just dig straight down to you.
Right,
you just give me the X and Y, basically.
Tell me when you get up.
Yeah. Okay.
1536, negative 2799.
Like, so you, like, all these people get there and there's like all this, everything is awful basically.
But there was something though. It was not what they paid for, but it was something.
All the musicians pulled out the day before. So there was no musicians, there was no food. Like, there's tweets from it with the food they were given. They were like told they were like a few days before, like a week before, they were told they needed to buy these RFID bands and load them up with cash, because they had, like, the festival itself had run out of money, so they weren't able to get all this stuff. So they needed more money, and no one was going to give them any money. So they started asking people to load up their bands, because they were going to need at least $10,000. Like, the average person loads up 3,000, but I would recommend at least 4 times that to have a good weekend. So one of the tweets that come out from it, like they're because they were told there was going to be this like catered amazing meals like nothing you've ever had before. They were given cheese sandwiches. It's just like I mean I wish you'd like seen this when it had
sandwiches.
It's plain old cheese sandwich in like a container or whatever, like the styrofoam containers.
So why did this come up recently?
Well, Netflix and Hulu have done competing documentaries on the Fire Festival, and they both just came out.
Did you watch them both, or did you just watch?
I haven't. I want to watch the Hulu one tonight. I didn't actually have a Hulu account, so I bought a Hulu account just to watch this damn Fire Festival thing.
So, do you think that are they competing? Like, do you think is it like Republican versus Democrat, or are they really on the same side? It's just two different documentaries.
No, they're definitely on different sides.
Really?
The one that was put out by Netflix was done by the advertising agency that was hired to produce the Fire Festival. The one that's put out by Hulu, they paid Billy McFarland $250,000 to get him to be in it. So they're like two different points of view and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna watch both and I'll get back to you. One of the best things from the Netflix one is one of the people that was working with them, helping them to produce this thing. Billy calls him up and he's like, "All right, you're our big gay chief. They're holding our water in customs right now, and they want $150,000 to clear our water through customs. I'm gonna need you down there and suck that man's dick so we can get the water out of customs." And he's like, "So," and the producer guy was like, he's being interviewed by the Netflix thing. He's like, "So I went home and I brushed my teeth and got some mouthwash, and I went down to that office ready to suck a dick to get our water. And luckily, they cleared it and just told me to pay him afterwards. He wouldn't even let me suck his dick."
Wait, what?
It's amazing, like watching the whole thing. Billy is currently serving a 6-year prison sentence because of all of it.
Well,
Ja Rule just got off like scot free.
Right?
Yeah, clearly fraud. I don't know how Ja Rule was like scot free on the whole thing. Like he was co-producer of the whole thing, co-founder of the whole project.
How much money they still made from it?
Well, that's the weird thing too, is you got all these people that were working on the project in these interviews, and they're showing like where they were asked to use their own American Express to help with it. And he's like, "Yeah, I still owe $250,000 on my American Express that I don't know how I'm ever going to pay back." And then he's talking about, and there's like 3 other American Express cards that have over $100,000 owed on them, and it's like, I don't even know. They're supposed to pay this certain amount back to the people that they had hired in the Bahamas. So after they buy this Pablo Escobar island, they one of the conditions was that they cannot make any mention of Pablo Escobar. The first thing that said in their very first ad for the Fire Festival was on Pablo Escobar's island. So they lose the island. Because they violated their contract. So they end up having to they go from actually having a private island to being a part of some other island that wasn't ever even part of the plan. And this is like 8 weeks out from when the festival's supposed to happen. It was just like a mess.
I'm so baffled at how I didn't know about this. Maybe I don't run with the rich crowds that I thought I did.
It was just all over Twitter. I don't know how you missed it, because it was like what everyone was talking about for this weekend or whatever when this all went down.
And how did it not get so much press after the fact?
It did, though. That's why I really don't know how you missed it, because it was legitimately what everyone was talking about for a little while, and then moved on.
Crazy. The other question that I have, and I'm curious, what Hulu subscription did you get?
So I'm actually using Renee's.
Oh, and what Hulu subscription is hers?
I don't know. I just logged into it today. She sent me the information.
Because I will tell you, I have this thing. I pay $5 a month and get student discounts are great. And since I've been a student forever, I keep getting student discounts. I wonder if they'll take that away from me now that I graduated. No, I didn't think about that. But it was $5 a month, and it gives me Spotify and Hulu. And it's the Hulu limited commercial plan. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. And I love my Spotify, so I'd keep it for the $5 a month anyway for the Spotify. The Hulu limited commercial is the shittiest service I have ever dealt with in my life. Watched a Family Guy episode. There's every 5 minutes there's a commercial.
Holy shit. I didn't know they ran them during the show, too. I thought it was just before and after.
Nope. And I think what I've been told in a lot of comments, it's funny, I read a lot of deal websites, and whenever a Hulu limited commercial plan goes to, live, you have a bunch of people who are like, oh, I've always wanted to get into Hulu, and then you'll have a bunch of people who are just like, Hulu Limited commercial, worst thing ever. And then you got a bunch of people who jump in and they're like, no, Hulu Limited commercial isn't bad for the older series. Apparently it's the new series that they really commercial up like a ridiculous amount, which Family Guy though was not. Like, and that's what I was watching one day when I had it. I'll be honest, I use the wife's sister's account because she pays for the no commercial plan, and that's fine. That's just like you're watching, Netflix or whatever.
Right.
The limited commercial.
Well, is definitely not no commercial because I loaded it up. I was going to start it today, and there was like 3 commercials before the show even started.
Yeah, holy shit, it is so bad. It was during, and it was like I was watching a Family Guy episode. It was like 22 minutes long, and every 5 minutes there was a like 2 or 3 minute commercial. And I will tell you, Hulu is actually kind of amazing for the way that they did this, and I'm not sure how they did this. But YouTube needs to fucking pick up the pace on this shit. It blocked the ad blocker blocked the commercial, but it still made you wait the entire time the commercial was. And it just
I don't know why YouTube, because every fucking site does this now, except for YouTube.
Except for YouTube, the one who has ad revenue money, right? Like that has to pay people for that.
Our motto is ad revenue, but you know what?
It's fucking terrible and stupid. But,
I mean, I hate ads too, but
well, so I'm curious to see if this sounds like a relatively new documentary. I don't know how the movies work either. I want to know after you watch the Hulu version if she doesn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it tonight. It's an hour and a half.
I want to tally commercial time.
Okay.
Because I just want to know. I've never watched a movie on Hulu in the limited commercial plan because of the fact that I could not get through shows with the limited commercial plan, like a random TV show.
Right. Yeah, I'll let you know what I
and I'm so confused why Hulu has that concept of the limited commercial, the different tiers of membership, and Netflix, isn't there only still one? I mean, I guess they used to have Netflix.
Netflix doesn't. I read an article today that said that based on internal studies, if Netflix started running ads, they would lose 57% of their consumer base. But I find that hard to believe that they would lose that many.
Doesn't Hulu speak the opposite of that clearly? Because they're like the same type.
I mean,
of
I've
service.
never used Hulu because I knew they had ads. To be honest with you, that's why I've always been no Hulu.
I heard Netflix is about to raise the subscription price. I saw articles for, and there was they were running statistics on how many percentage of the customers they think they're going to lose because they raise the subscription price. And I'll be honest, Netflix lately to me kind of sucks. Netflix has been canning all the shows that I like to watch on Netflix and not replacing it with much good stuff. Granted, you got the things like Travelers that I really want to see because it's a Netflix original or quote unquote original, as you pointed out to me, but you can't find that anywhere else. But Netflix is getting rid of a lot of the things. Like Kung Fu Panda was my son's favorite movie. It's gone. It doesn't exist on Netflix anymore.
Yeah, all that stuff is limited, right? And the Disney's cut their deal off with them because they've made their own service that's coming out.
And Amazon Prime Video, amazingly, is getting more of the series that I like.
Huh.
I've been watching.
The thing I hate about Amazon Prime
lately, you can't Chromecast it.
Oh. Huh. My TV's got a built-in Chromecast and it works fine.
Chromecast?
Yeah.
Amazon app does not have a Chromecast option. Remember, we had this discussion before.
They don't sell Chromecasts on their website, but my TV is a Sony TV, and it specifically says that it's a built-in Chromecast. It says it by brand and everything.
Chromecast?
And it totally lets me down. That's what it says.
How are you starting it up on your phone and then hitting a Chromecast button? There's no Chromecast button in the Amazon Prime app.
That's just what it calls it. It says it has built-in Chromecast, but it's just an Android app for Amazon now that I think about it.
Well, and that's the thing is Apple TVs or Roku's or whatever. There's an Amazon app on there that works absolutely fine. You just can't.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Right, you're right. Yeah, I'm not using the traditional Chromecast. Yeah, it's just yeah. So I guess even though it says it's a built-in Chromecast, I'm just using the Android app for Amazon. But you know what Amazon does that I hate is you'll get into a series and then they'll do the Netflix thing, but it's even worse because it's still there, but you got to buy it now.
Oh, so I'll be honest, I have run into a couple of those where I looked for because I think I wanted to start watching Alone season 2. And I couldn't remember what service I was watching it on before because, I participate in multiple of them. And I was like, oh, here it is right here on the Amazon Prime app. And I was like, Alone season 2. And by the time I got to the thing, I got all the way to where I was hitting play on episode 1. And it was like, play button was replaced with, how do I watch this series? And I was like, oh,
Right.
it's one of those. I watched this through Hulu or something like that. Like, I don't remember which one I watched this through. I'll have to go find it. But so yeah, you have to. It's harder to tell, especially since I do it a lot through my Apple TV or my Roku app. It's harder to tell which things you get into are free and part of my membership versus do I have to buy. And you don't
Right.
figure it out until you get in a little bit farther. So that is kind of annoying. You said like Netflix. Has Netflix started charging for?
No, I was saying it was like Netflix, except it gets even worse, in my opinion, because it's still there, but it's taunting you.
Oh,
so
it's not even that
it
it's
goes
not even
away
that it's
like
gone.
Netflix.
It's just that it's there,
Yeah.
but you have to now buy it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I got you.
But what I meant by like Netflix is it goes away. But yeah.
So yeah,
I wonder if Netflix could do that, where they don't raise the subscription price, but then like micro sell some of the stuff.
I mean,
like,
they could, but then is that going to turn into Amazon, the Amazon app?
Right. I guess that's what I'm saying. I wonder if they could successfully, like, if you want this show, this price or whatever.
I mean, when is it before? And I saw a Twitter post on this, and it's funny because I'm sure most people in the world have had these thoughts. Netflix was this revolutionary thing when it came out. It just, wow, you had a place where you can get all of this stuff for such a cheap price. And then Hulu comes on the market. Now Disney's starting their own app. HBO Go's on there.
CBS.
When does it get to the point where somebody's going to bundle all this stuff together? And it's essentially cable TV, but internet streamed cable TV.
I mean, that's what people have kept saying for a while now,
right?
Honestly,
so
I don't think that's going to happen because I think Netflix has to worry. I think Netflix doesn't have to worry actually because Netflix did the smart thing and started making original series. If Netflix hadn't started making original series, Netflix was in danger.
Agreed. Yeah, I think Netflix has become like a studio as well now.
Yeah. What I mean, does Hulu make original series?
I believe no. Amazon Prime does. I don't know about Hulu. I cannot answer.
Like,
that
I think
question.
that's the only way you're gonna be able to stay alive in this market. I think. I think.
Well,
like,
once you do that in this market, when do the normal networks go away? Then
I think that's happening right now. I think that because I mean, for instance, like I brought up CBS. They CBS. I mean, Star Trek was. How the hell are you gonna make a streaming service and fucking paywall Star Trek? That's bullshit.
I mean, that's what they did for the first season, right?
That's what they did with it. Period. Not first season. That show is on a paywall. You can't watch that show unless you pay for CBS All Access or whatever the fuck it's called.
Weren't you the one super excited that it came out?
Oh yeah, I love that show.
And you got to pay for that show specifically.
You have to pay for their thing, but there's nothing else there. There's no other content that you're getting from CBS other than that show and some shit that no one cares about.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I guess it's the same way with Netflix original series, though, right?
But there's at least a lot of content, I guess.
Well, are you saying that CBS doesn't have a lot of content? It just might be shitty content?
I don't think they have a lot. I mean, no, that's the thing. No, they don't have a lot of content because they're limited to whatever they're broadcasting on their network. Plus, like, I don't even know if there's more than one original series. I'm assuming there is, but I don't know if there is.
So, guys, think about it this way. As of now, YouTube is still free, even though we don't get our ad revenue for it anyway. You can watch our content for free. We're not paywalling anybody. You can feel free to donate. You can feel free to, like, subscribe. You can feel free to do all that stuff, but we ain't fucking behind a paywall.
It's true.
I don't know. Oh, God, I just looked at Enderman. Oh, God, he's killing me. oh, dear.
Well, you remember they kind of tried that. I remember B-Double-O made it one of those paywall channels at some point.
Oh, die. I got him. Have a heart. Woo. Congratulations. Dude, I tried to do Game Wisp once and fucking people lost their goddamn minds.
Yeah, you weren't, I mean, like, his thing was like a full-on, like, the whole channel, if you want any of these videos, you must pay period. Your thing was like, you're gonna get these videos a couple days later,
Right.
and people lost their fucking minds.
People lost their mind. I actually launched I launched, quote unquote, I enabled my Patreon the other day for the first time, just in case people wanted to like do something, donate, but I don't, like, I'm trying to make sure it's out there as a completely optional, if you feel like doing it thing, like, feel free, but it doesn't change.
Was it patreon.com/jason19?
Yes, I believe so. I literally just made it live the other day. It'd been the last time my goal had been updated until I modified them a little bit was in 2015 when I thought about starting a Patreon and decided to go with Game Wisp instead because I like the Game Wisp guys. I like their concept. I like their idea, and I got eviscerated. So when I was updating
my Game Wisp was for charity, and people still hated me. So
oh yeah,
mine always went to Extra Life.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. People are.
But that was what's so weird to me is because no one freaked out about Patreons, but something about Game West. But I guess it wasn't like it's like Yahoo versus Google or some shit. The word didn't taste right to them or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I liked the Game West concept a lot better. I thought it was not better. I liked they mixed it when they started mixing it with the goals and stuff too. So you basically could have had Patreon on Game Wisp with extra amazing features. I'm sad that Game Wisp didn't stay as in that space. Do as well in that space as Patreon has, because Patreon is little. God, I wish I had invented Patreon though. Fuck, man! All you did is be like, I'm gonna set up a place where people can ask for people to donate and take a percentage off the top, and that's my business.
Yeah, well, he was already popular. He had the ability to make Patreon known. That's the difference.
Who did Patreon?
Some YouTuber.
Oh.
Or something. I don't remember exactly, to be honest.
I didn't actually realize
I feel like I know the answer to this, but
I didn't realize it was a famous YouTuber. I thought it was just like the service.
I don't know if it's a YouTuber
popular.
No, the person that did it was popular already. I don't remember his name. I think it might be just one of the people that started VidCon too, even. I don't know. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Yeah, people definitely get well, and that's the funny thing too is I'll catch some random people that I watch or whatever, and I'll go look at their Patreon and I'll be like, holy shit, like these guys are rocking it in the Patreon space, like,
right?
190 people like putting their stuff out there, and they're like a really like low key channel or whatever, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then it's just like you mention it once and you're like, you are an asshole of all assholes to even think that you could possibly start a Patreon or a Game Wisp.
It was started by Jack Conte, who was looking for a way to make a living from his popular YouTube videos. So,
and he definitely had found a way to make a living. It wasn't from his videos. It was from other people's videos. Even better.
So yeah, he did have a following that allowed him to promote this product, basically.
What a fucking genius!
But yeah, I mean, shit. When Beef started his, he was over like $11,000 a month when he first started. I don't know where he's at now. So me and Co's not successful.
Yeah, oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, you guys started the whole two bananas thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It has only gone downhill in terms of like Patreons. And we're still trying to finalize the business stuff, so we've never actually taken any money out of the Patreon. So it's just sitting there on the website.
Yep. See, and that I'm sure that's what's gonna happen with so I can't say I'm sure that's what's gonna happen with mine. Mine is there for hopefully like close fans to be able to just like get like together and and discuss and
like
talk.
It's been good in terms
I don't have a business out of it.
Right. Like ours has been good in terms of like playing with our fans and that sort of stuff. But the way we went into it, we thought one thing would work, and we were just way wrong. Like,
well, I know you guys really wanted to do the live collabs. Like one of the goals was to get to live collabs.
Right, to come together. Like, and we gated all of our streams. Basically, we were like, at this level we'll do this type of content. At this level we'll do this type of content once a month. And then we were like, we didn't hit any of these goals, so we can't stream anything.
We basically, since we did didn't make money, we can't stream, and therefore we'll make less money and get less interest.
It just didn't. We thought we were like real smart, like, oh, this will be so cool, and like people will get to feel like that we hit this goal, and now we're doing this thing as well, and instead we didn't hit the goals, and so now what are we gonna do?
Apparently nothing, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's like 85,000 zombies pouring out of this cave.
So we after a month we totally changed it. We're like, we're just gonna do content, and if we hit the other goals, then we will do the meetups and stuff, and so. But yeah, I mean, in terms of playing with fans, it's been good. But in terms of like being a super successful Patreon, we didn't. It
was not there. Yeah, it amazes me what people become super successful with those donation campaigns versus not, because you see some really low key people who have very successful Patreons, and
right?
Some very highly successful like YouTubers who have terribly non-successful like Patreon campaigns.
I think some of that is like the level of like how you interact with your fans. If your fans feel more like a family than just a group of people watching your content, then they're more likely to like want to support you versus I like your content, but you know, I don't. You probably make
fuck you as a person.
Yeah, pretty much. Please keep making those videos.
They entertain me, but fuck you.
Right.
Family friendly.
Yep. Well, I don't think we triggered as many people in this episode. But
but we didn't have as many people to trigger since we triggered them all last episode. They're not watching us anymore. They started a revolution. They're gone.
Yeah.
They would have been the people that would have been the ones to donate to our Patreons, but they said
right.
We lost in the episode.
Just missed them.
Just missed them.
Oh shit.
Guys, at a certain Patreon level, I will have the most politically incorrect episode with Guude. Ask him all the important questions that nobody else wants to ask. We want to see how many. If you think we can trigger 50 people in one episode, then donate this amount of money.
Oh God. All right, everybody. Well, I hope we make it back next time, and you can see how we can get rid of you.
Yeah, if you're still around, tell us what we're doing wrong. We're trying to get rid of you next.
Holy shit. All right, everybody. Bye.
See you guys.